Alrighty, we're about to start this matchup, and we'd like to welcome Savannah Junior Roller Derby. Skating for Savannah today in teal and black are the Butcher, number 10, the Mad Splatter, number 1016. We have Poison Ivy, 102, Purple People Eater, 1104. Got some fans over there. All right, we have King Corey, number 119. Monster 18. American Idiot 2004. Tallulah Gorge number 26. We have Disney Villain number 3146. Moth Massacre 405. Persephone number 626. We have number 747 Sriracha Cha. And number 7610 Jane Throw. Savannah is coached by Cindy Aroyave, Jason Head, Tatiana Aroyave, and Lily Head. Skating against Savannah this morning are your Columbia Junior Rollers. We've got 007 Mad Danger, 011 Little Bit, 101 Soul Crusher, number 11 Salt, number 111 Tiny Takia, got number 12 Fright Bite, 124 Lightweight, got Kick Puncher number 1373, Clara Bear number 151, and you've got Bodacious number 23, Hippo 241, got number 399 Imp the Shrimp, number 439 Slaya, number 653 Shorty, number 709 Smasher, number 720 Hell's Bells, got Go-Go 7718, and last but not least, Izzy Bake Oven 898. Your Columbia Junior Roller All-Stars are coached by Coach Holly, Coach Eddie, and Coach Bug. As we kick off this first jam here, we see Tiny Takia picking up lead, heading around on her scoring pass. Not too far behind is King Corey, also on their scoring pass. Wow, beautiful apex jump there by King Corey to pick up 4 points for Savannah. But Tiny Takia also making her way around for another scoring pass. Got a couple blockers heading to the penalty box for Columbia. The short pack is giving Savannah an opportunity to pick up some extra points here. Oh, nice block on the inside on the Columbia jammer, but stopping that run back was a Columbia blocker. All right, after that first jam, we do have a tied game. We've got Columbia at 12 and Savannah at 12. All right, on the jam line for Jam 2 is Monster, who picks up lead for Savannah, and Slaya for Columbia not far behind. This pack's really moving, trying to avoid those jammers who are picking up points. Looks like Monster was able to sneak through and pick up 4 points for Savannah, bringing our score to 16 for Savannah and 12 for Columbia. Alrighty, jamming for Savannah, we have Purple People Eater, and for Columbia, we have Salt. Great footwork by Salt there to pick up lead for Columbia. Enabled in part by the strong tripod work led by number 23, Bodacious, Smasher, and Izzy. All right, it looks like one blocker from Columbia is heading to the box for, I believe it was a direction penalty. But even with that pack disadvantage, Columbia doing a really nice job with that tripod and two-wall blocking. All right, it looks like a Savannah blocker did head to the box, so now we've got a 3-3 pack. Alrighty, Salt has called off that jam after picking up 3 additional points for Columbia. Our current score is Savannah 20, Columbia 19. Both of these teams doing a great job with defense, keeping these jams pretty close. Alrighty, beautiful apex jump by Monster to pick up lead for Savannah. Some good offensive work by Columbia there to help get Slaya out. He's now on his scoring pass. Alrighty, looks like Monster did call off that jam, so we'll see how many points each team picked up. Alright, looks like Savannah did pick up 4 points and Columbia picked up 2. So, again, super close game. We've got Savannah at 24 and Columbia at 21. Alright, it looks like your jammer for Columbia is Tiny Takia. And the jammer for Savannah is King Corey. He's making his way through, also on his scoring pass. Alrighty, Tiny Takia choosing to pick up those 4 points and quickly call it off before King Corey is able to pick up any points. I believe this will be a lead change. Oh, sure. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so that was a lead change. So Columbia is now at 25 to Savannah's 24. Really great hit to the outside by Hippo there to knock the Savannah jammer out of bounds and force that run back. Salt, meanwhile, making her way through the pack. Unfortunately, it looks like Monster is heading to the box for a high block, so this offers a power jam opportunity for Salt, who did pick up lead. Really great fight from those Savannah blockers to eat up a little bit of time there, but Salt is now on her scoring pass. All right, Salt picking up 4 points there after a brief battle at the front of the pack and making her way around for another pass. All right, Saul challenging those links, doing a great job picking up 4 more points, but Monster also making his way around on a scoring pass. Alrighty, that jam has come to an end with our current score for Columbia 33 to Savannah 24. Alrighty, on your jam line for Columbia is Slaya, and for Savannah, we've got Purple People Eater. Slaya working turn 1 there to pick up lead for Columbia, making his way around for a scoring pass. Skating up the inside there, Slaya picks up 4 points to make his way back around for his second scoring pass. In the meantime, we had a beautiful star pass to Monster from Purple People Eater, to King Corey from Purple People Eater. Alrighty, we have King Corey jamming for Savannah and Tiny Takia jamming for Columbia. Looks like Tiny Takia did pick up lead here at the apex and is coming around for her scoring pass. Unfortunately, it looks like Tiny Takia is heading to the penalty box for a back block. So this offers a power jam opportunity for Savannah. Well, some nice footwork on the inside there by King Corey to pick up 4 points for Savannah. Great hit by Hippo to facilitate that run back. Meanwhile, Tiny Takia is back in bounds, but this jam will go the full 2 minutes, so we'll see what these jammers are able to put up in terms of points. Some really nice tripod work from both of these teams here to slow down those jammers and slow down the points. Okay, that was a 16-8 jam in favor of Columbia, and our current score is Columbia 57, Savannah 32. We still have a little over 15 minutes, or a little under 20 minutes, I guess. 18 minutes, 41 seconds left in this first half. Very close game. It's anybody's game at this point, so excited to see what these two teams can do. If you're like me and you're just waking up, you may want some coffee or a snack. So If that's the case, head over to the concessions run by CJR and grab some coffee, grab a snack. Alrighty, on the jam line for Monster with a great hit out and run back, or on the jam line for Savannah is Monster. All right, and then we've got Saul jamming for Columbia with both these jammers working to pick up some speed to hit the pack, but Monster was able to take advantage of that first to pick up lead for Savannah. Unfortunately, it looks like 7718 Go-Go is heading to the box for a direction penalty. Savannah called off that jam for a 3-0 jam in favor of Savannah. And so Savannah is starting this jam with a pack advantage. On the jam line for Savannah is Purple, and for Columbia we have Slaya. Alrighty, Slaya was able to get out first on a no pass, no penalty. That means he is not currently the lead jammer, so lead is still open, but we did have a star pass, which means this will be a 2-minute jam. So we've got both Slaya and King Corey heading around for a scoring pass. It's up to the defense of these two teams to slow things down. Oh, unfortunately, King Corey did head to the box for a penalty, so this is a power jam for Columbia. All right, some great offense on the inside there. Slaya is able to get through the pack and pick up 4 points for Columbia. Alrighty, that power jam helped Columbia pick up quite a few points here in this last jam. So Columbia, Slaya picked up 19 points to Savannah's 4, bringing our score to 76 for Columbia and 39 for Savannah. All right, on the jam line for both of these teams, we've got Monster jamming for Savannah and Tiny Takia for Columbia. Great work by Takia, moving up that inside line to pick up the lead for Columbia. It's really smart jammer defense by Monster to help slow Tiny Takia down and buy time for him to make his way through the pack. Oh, and a great spin at the front there by Monster, so he's now on his scoring pass as well. Alrighty, Tiny Takia choosing to call that jam off before Monster can pick up any points. Bringing our score to 80 for Columbia and 39 for Savannah. If you love roller derby as much as we do, you will be excited to know that Columbia is hosting 2 more tournaments. So one in May, which is the WIFTA Regional Playoffs. It's going to be held Memorial Day weekend, May 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So it's going to be 13 great teams battling it out for a chance to head to WIFTA International Playoffs, which will be held in Malmo, Sweden in October. And then in June, Columbia Juniors are hosting Juniors Playoffs on June 20th and 21st right here at the Armory. So lots of opportunities to see some more great derby. Alrighty, both these jammers still fighting their way through the pack here. We've got Salt jamming for Columbia and Purple People Eater for Savannah. Great defense there on the inside line by number 119, King Corey. The pivot for Savannah. But Salt was able to fight her way through that to pick up lead for Columbia. All right, nice star stash by Purple People Eater to make her way through the pack. That was a really powerful hit by Purple, who quickly made her way through the pack to pick up 4 points for Savannah. Looks like Salt picked up 3 points on that last jam, so it was actually a 4-3 jam in favor of Savannah. Our current score is Columbia 83, Savannah 43. Got about 12 minutes left in this half. Wow, really nice footwork on the outside there by Monster to pick up lead for Savannah. Meanwhile, Slaya is taking that helmet cover off. He's making his way through the pack for his initial pass. All right, looks like Slaya did make his way through on his initial pass. Nice little whip there by Monster off of his players, and he's going to score those 4 points and call it off before Slaya can make it around for his scoring pass. It's an 8-0 jam in favor of Savannah, bringing our score to 51 Savannah, 83 Columbia. Quick shout out to all of our officials, volunteers, medics, and coaches that make roller derby happen. We could not do it without you all, so thank you so much. Wow, nice work by both of those jammers on the inside. Takia eking out just a little bit in front there to pick up lead for Columbia. Oh, some good jammer on jammer defense. But Takia deciding to call that jam off. All right, your jammer for Savannah is Purple People Eater, and your jammer for Columbia is Salt. Good footwork there on the outside by Salt to pick up lead for Columbia. All right, looks like Smasher is heading to the box on a penalty for Columbia. Oh, and unfortunately, the Savannah jammer is heading to the box for a penalty. And the Columbia Jammers also heading to the box for a penalty. So this is going to be a 2-minute jam, and neither of these jammers is going to spend much time in the box. Alrighty, we've got purple back on the track here for Savannah. We got blockers coming out of the box. All right, Salt is making her way back around. She did lose lead when she went to the box, but still has the opportunity to pick up some more points for Columbia. All right, Salt picking up 4 points and making her way through on another scoring pass. Beautiful jump by Salt. Alrighty, that jam has come to an end, but not before Columbia picked up 12 points. It was a 12-0 jam in favor of Columbia. All right, looks like we are in an official timeout right now. So I want to give a quick shout out to Columbia SC Sports for being a great sponsor for our league. Alrighty, jamming for Savannah, we have Monster, and for Columbia, we have Slaya. Slaya doing a little dance on the inside there to pick up a lead for Columbia, and it does look like Monster's unfortunately heading to the box for a track cut, so this is another power jam opportunity for Columbia. Well, some great one-on-one blocking there at the front of the pack to hold Slaya back just a little bit longer. One thing that has really impressed me about this game so far is the strength of these blockers in one-on-one situations, two-on-one, and in tripods. Some really great blocking this morning. Slaya did make his way around for a second scoring pass and is coming up again, working his way through. Meanwhile, Monster is out of the box and back on the track, making his way through as well. All right, great work by Monster there to make his way around. And Slaya choosing to call it off. All right, looks like Columbia did pass that century mark. So our current score is Columbia 109 to Savannah 51. All right, we've got Tiny Takia jamming for Columbia and Monster jamming for Savannah. All right, looks like Tiny Takia did get assessed a back block and is heading to the penalty box. Meanwhile, however, we do have some good defense happening with Columbia, forcing that jammer run back, slowing things down a little bit to minimize the impact of that power jam. That said, Monster's able to work his way up the outside there and pick up lead for Savannah. All right, looks like Savannah picked up 3 points on that last jam. And they are going to start with a power start. Power starts are great opportunities for teams to pick up some points quickly before that opposing jammer exits the box. All right, it looks like both jammers are on the track now, making their way through the pack here. All right, Tiny Takia did pick up lead after exiting the penalty box, making her way around for a scoring pass. All right, unfortunately, the Savannah jammer is heading to the box for a cut track, so this offers another power jam opportunity, this time for Columbia. It's a beautiful sweep on the inside there by Columbia, but Savannah responded quickly and was able to hold Tiny Takia back for a little bit longer. But some beautiful work at the front there by Tiny Takia to pick up 4 more points for Columbia. That brings our score to Columbia 117, Savannah 54. Got a little under 3 minutes left in this first half. During halftime, grab some coffee, grab a snack. I'm definitely probably going to grab coffee. And settle in for the next half. Alrighty, we've got Salt jamming for Columbia and Purple coming out of the box for Savannah. Again, great teamwork from both of these teams here. Some great walls. A great star pass. Monster really wanted to pick up some points there, but Columbia chose to call that jam off before he could make his way all the way around to pick up those 4. Columbia 121, Savannah 54. Out on the track in that last jam, I saw 011 Little Bit. Give a shout out if you love Little Bit. Alrighty, great work by both of those jammers to fight through those walls and get out of the pack. Slaya just slightly ahead, deciding he doesn't want to do that dance and calling it off before either of them picks up any points. So that's a 0-0 jam. All right, it looks like with that jam, Savannah fielded one too many blockers, I believe. So we've got an official timeout to sort that out. All right, looks like Disney Villain is reporting to the box. Alrighty, shout out to these blockers that are starting in our next jam here. We've got 119 King Corey for Savannah, 26 to Lula Gorge, and 747 Sriracha Cha. All right, your lead jammer is Monster for Savannah. Monster did a great job battling that Columbia wall to pick up lead. Beautiful jump right there by Slaya. Oh, who unfortunately is heading to the box for a penalty. Alrighty, Coach Holly is calling for an official review. Alrighty, so that is halftime. During this halftime, grab some snacks, grab some coffee. If vendors are open, I encourage you to check those out as well. We'll be back in just a few minutes. All right, we're about to wrap up this intermission here, but you've got time if you want to grab some coffee or a snack. You can head over to concessions, or you could check out some of the great merch. We've got some merch from Columbia Roller Derby, and we also have Flower and Flora, who has some great handmade soaps, some plants. Check it out. Once again, we want to thank all of our officials, but especially we'd like to thank Will Ryder, our tournament head rep, and Chemical Restraints, our tournament head NSO for this tournament.
Buddy, I might need to borrow that.
In case you missed it, at the end of that first half, we did have a jammer penalty assessed to the Columbia jammer, which means that Savannah is going to be starting the second half on a power start. Savannah did have one blocker go to the box, so Columbia does have the pack advantage here, but Savannah has that jammer advantage. Alrighty, looks like we're ready to kick things off here. Alright, some great offense there by Sriracha to help Monster pick up a lead for Savannah. Alrighty, Monster picking up a few points and then calling it off right away. Once again, icing out the Columbia jammer to start with a power start. Alrighty, jamming for Savannah, we have King Corey. And your jammer for Columbia is Slaya. Slaya doing some great toe stop running on the outside line there to sneak out of the pack. However, he did not pick up lead for that jam. Your lead jammer was that Savannah jammer, 119 King Corey. He did choose to call off that jam before either jammers picked up any points, however. Keeping our score to Columbia 124, Savannah 60. Alrighty, your two jammers for this jam. We've got Tiny Takia jamming for Columbia. I believe that, we've got the Butcher jamming for Savannah. Butcher 1-0. I believe this is her first time jamming in this game. All right, a bit of a tumble there on the straightaway, but everybody's back up and moving here. Really tight defense from both of these teams here, doing a good job of slowing this jam down. However, Tiny Takia was able to fight her way through to pick up lead for Columbia. Wow, beautiful offense by number 241, Hippo. And a nice hop from Tiny Takia to pick up 4 more points for Columbia. All right, great work by the Butcher there to make her way through on her initial pass. And Takia choosing to call off that jam. All right, it looks like that was a 12-point jam for Columbia, bringing our score to 136 Columbia, 60, Savannah. On the track jamming right now, you have Salt for Columbia and Monster for Savannah. This pack is moving pretty slow here. Keeping the pack slow is a great way to control the cadence of the jam. So you can see this strategy from both teams. Wow. Really great move by Monster, the jammer for Savannah, who dropped one hand but stayed in bounds to pick up lead for Savannah. The agility of these jammers is really impressive to see. All right, looks like Bodacious did grab that star for a successful star pass, and Monster decided to call off the jam, but not before picking up 3 points for Savannah. Okay, your jammer for Savannah is King Corey, and your jammer for Columbia is Slaya. Really nice explosive movement by Slaya on the inside of the straightaway there to pick up lead for Columbia, but King Corey says not so fast and gets out not too far behind. All right, Slaya did pick up, I believe, all 4 points there. All right, yeah, it did look like he picked up all 4 there, bringing Columbia to 140, Savannah 63. All right, we had Monster making his way through the pack to pick up lead for Savannah. However, really great hit out and run back by Shrimp, forcing Monster to make his way back through the pack. In the meantime, Tiny Takia did make it through on her initial pass, and unfortunately it looks like Monster did get assessed a track cut and a second penalty as well. So Monster will be sitting for a minute in that penalty box, which gives Columbia an opportunity to pick up some points on this power jam. It looks like we had a Savannah blocker head to the box as well as a Columbia blocker. So 3-3 pack at the moment. Beautiful hop on that apex there for Takia, who is not lead jammer. Just making her way around for another scoring pass. Another nice little hit and apex jump there by Tiny Takia to pick up 4 more points for Columbia. There's still time here left in this jam. Monster making his way around. All right, great hit out there by Savannah blocker, Disney Villain. Alrighty, that brings us to the end of that 2-minute jam, and it looks like Columbia picked up 19 points, and I'm pretty sure Savannah picked up some points as well, so we'll see what those are in just a moment. All right, jamming for Savannah. We have another new jammer, the Mad Splatter. We've got Slaya jamming for Columbia. All right, looks like Columbia's Hippo is heading to the box for a back block, along with Lightweight, who's been assessed a multiplayer penalty. Beautiful star pass to King Corey. Oh, wow. King Corey slid right up that inside of the apex to pick up 4 points for Savannah. That was really impressive. These jammers don't need a lot of space to get up those lines. All right, looks like Slaya did call off that jam, and that brings us to a 12-4 jam in favor of Columbia with the score at 171 Columbia, 67 Savannah. Got a little under 20 minutes left in this half. Don't worry, there is more derby after this game. So our next up game is going to be Columbia Quad Squad versus Vet City. We've got Salt jamming for Columbia and King Corey for Savannah. Unfortunately, it looks like Salt is heading to the box for, I believe it was a high block. And she's going to sit for a second one. So the opposite of that last jam, now we've got the Columbia jammer in the box for a minute. All right, looks like the pivot for Columbia is heading to the box. So this is giving a pack advantage to Savannah. Alrighty, King Corey making his way through to pick up another 4 points for Savannah. All right, it looked like King Corey did call off that jam on the outside there, but not before picking up a few more points. It's a 15-0 jam in favor of Savannah, bringing our score to Savannah 82, Columbia 171. Alrighty, looks like Slaya did pick up lead for Columbia. And we have a star pass to number 19, Pluto, for Savannah. It's a really great star pass. Wow, beautiful footwork on the inside by Pluto to pick up 4 points for Savannah. Meanwhile, your Columbia jammer, Slaya, is making his way around for a scoring pass as well. Alrighty, nice little hop there on the inside by Slaya, who picked up 4 more points and then decided to call it off. But not before Pluto, pivot turn jammer, could also pick up 8 points. Alrighty, with A little over 15 minutes left in this half. We've got Monster jamming for Savannah and Tiny Takia for Columbia. Beautiful defense there by the Savannah blockers. Your blockers for Savannah are 626 per 70. 1016, the Mad Splatter. Also got Disney Villain out there. And then Moth Massacre is your fourth blocker there for Savannah. Tiny Takia was able to make her way through that wall to pick up 4 points and then come back around for a scoring pass. Unfortunately, it looks like that blocker for Stephanie for Savannah is heading to the penalty box for a forearm, giving a pack advantage to Columbia. All right, both jammers here fighting their way through these strong blocker tripods. Really great work from number 23, Bodacious, and 399, Ninja Shrimp. Great, it looks like Tiny Takia picked up 8 points in that last jam, bringing Columbia to 187, to Savannah at 90. All right, the crowd is going wild because we've got a little bit on the jam line. A little bit jamming for Columbia and the Butcher jamming for Savannah. Both of these jammers fighting their way through the pack. All right, looks like Columbia blocker heading to the box for a stop block. Not a penalty you see often, but occasionally when those blockers have it locked in, it does happen. It's been over a minute here, and we are still not in a position to call a lead jammer. And it looks like the Savannah jammer took the helmet cover off, which means she's not eligible for lead. Alrighty, we have a Savannah blocker sitting down in the penalty box. So we've got a 3-3 pack out there right now. Alright, unfortunately it looks like a little bit is heading to the box for a track cut. The blocker that hit her out only had one hand out of bounds, so I believe he's still technically in play. All right, Savannah starting with a pack advantage here versus Bodacious, Smasher, and Shrimp. Got the Butcher jamming once again for Savannah. looks like a Savannah blocker is heading to the box for a direction call. Some great defense here by Columbia to try to hold down this jammer, which seems to have worked out because a little bit coming out of the box there did pick up lead for Columbia. Beautiful apex jump by a little bit. Well, it looks like we do have three Columbia blockers are heading to the box. All right, a little bit choosing to call off that jam. But we got 3 blockers in the penalty queue for Columbia. Fun fact, if you have 3 blockers that are going to the penalty box, you've only got 2 seats for blockers, so they're going to wave off that 3rd blocker until it is time for them to go take their place and sit in the chair. All right, we've got a little under 10 minutes here. We've got Columbia at 193 to Savannah's 90. We have Purple People Eater jamming for Savannah. And Salt is your jammer for Columbia. All right, it looks like Impa Shrimp is heading to the box for a multiplayer, but that blocker was also already in the penalty queue, which means Impa Shrimp is sitting for 2 penalties. Meanwhile, Lightweight did head to the box for a penalty as well as a Savannah blocker. This penalty box has seen a lot of action. Sorry, that was weird. All right, Purple making her way around for another scoring pass. Meanwhile, another Columbia blocker heading to the box, as well as a Savannah blocker. And the pivot for Savannah. So, again, the penalty box is really popular right now. Both that beautiful, beautiful star pass, quick trip around. That jam did bring Savannah to over 100 points. So Savannah now has 102 with that 12-point jam to 197 for Columbia. Got under 8 minutes left in this half. We are taking a timeout. During this timeout, I do want to remind you that we have 2 more exciting roller derby events hosted by Columbia Roller Derby and Columbia Junior Rollers over the next couple of months. So Columbia Roller Derby is hosting WIFTA regional playoffs right down the street at the South Carolina Fairgrounds in the Goodman Building. Memorial Day weekend, May 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. 13 highly ranked teams are going to battle it out for a chance to head to international playoffs, which are going to be held in Sweden in October. So if you want to see some good derby, come to that event. Additionally, in June, JRDA Regionals is hosted by the Columbia Junior Rollers right here at the Armory on June 20th and 21st. All right, both of these teams are starting down blockers. So your starting blockers for Columbia are Hippo and Go-Go. And your starting blockers for Savannah are Persephone and I'm trying to figure out who the other one is. Your jammers are Monster and Slaya. Oh, that other blocker for Savannah is Disney Villain. He's had some really fantastic hits this game. Oh, unfortunately, Imp Shrimp coming out of the box is heading right back for a multiplayer. That did give Monster an opportunity to pick up lead jam for Savannah with Slaya not too far behind. All right, that was a 4-4 jam, so side jam. Savannah's at 106 to Columbia 201. Alrighty, that jam off to an interesting start with the jammer for Savannah barely making it onto the track before that jam started. Got Takia jamming for Columbia. And it looks like Disney Villain jamming for Savannah. This pack is moving pretty fast, but Tiny Takia is taking advantage of that as she makes her way through. Really beautiful one-on-one blocking by King Corey there to slow Takia down and force that call off. Takia was able to pick up all 4 points, however, before the end of that. Oh, she picked up 3 points by the end of that jam. And Savannah picked up 2, so it's a 3-2 jam in favor of Columbia. Right, great work by Salt there on the outside line. 2 pickup lead for Columbia. Purple People Eater has passed that star to number 10, the Butcher. Salt once again working her way through the pack. Looking to pick up another scoring pass for Columbia. Right, it looks like the pivot for Columbia was assessed a back block penalty and is heading to the penalty box. Meanwhile, great tripods from both of these teams here to slow the jam down. This jam really is a grind here for both of these jammers. Both of these walls are doing a really great job of just sucking away any space that the jammers have been able to create here, which has contributed to how slow this grind has been for both of these jammers. Alrighty, looks like that jam has come to an end, and Salt was able to pick up all 4 of those points on her second scoring pass, bringing the score to 212 Columbia, 108 Savannah. Your jammer for Savannah is 3146 Disney Villain. And your jammer for Columbia is Tiny Takia. Great offense by a little bit there to help Takia get some purchase in her initial pass here. All right, it looks like Takia was able to pick up lead for Columbia. Some solid offense by Gogo for Columbia before she had to return to help her fellow blockers out. Well, unfortunately, it does look like Tiny Takia is heading to the box for a penalty. So she should not be lead jammer. Okay, she's not a lead jammer. Tiny Takia did pick up lead, but then went to the penalty box. So lead was closed. However, Disney Villain is able to make her way around for a scoring pass for Savannah. All right, looks like a Savannah blocker is heading to the box for a direction penalty. And a little bit is heading to the box for a stop block. Alrighty, that brings an end to this jam. It was a 12-0 jam in favor of Columbia, bringing, 12-4 jam in favor of Columbia, bringing our score to 224 Columbia, 112 Savannah. We've got 27 seconds left in this half, so this is most likely going to be our last jam, unless this jam is the fastest jam ever and a team calls a timeout to get a second jam. All right, beautiful work by Slay there to pick up the lead for Columbia. Meanwhile, Monster fighting his way through on that initial pass. Really great footwork by all of these jammers today. Alrighty, looks like our unofficial score right now is Columbia 228 to Savannah 112. Both teams will need to provide their MVP jammer and blocker to the announcer area so that we can hand out these super cool sunglasses. I know you want the sunglasses, so please nominate an MVP blocker and jammer. Okay, and that 228 to 112 is the final score. We've got about 30 minutes until our next game, which is your Columbia Quad Squad versus Bet City, who's visiting us from Kentucky. Fun fact, I'm from Kentucky. So very excited to have them here today.